We're continuing the conversation we had yesterday next here, talking about three of the best young players in the world right now, Kylian Mbappe, Erling Haaland and Jude Bellingham, and who you would choose if you were starting a team of your own tomorrow. Frank LeBoeuf is joining us now as well for this conversation. So if I was to ask you that, Frank LeBoeuf, who would you choose of these three, bias aside?
Well, I think I would say Jude Bellingham for one reason. I think Haaland, I will, and I'm sure Mr. Fjortoft will forgive me for that. I think Erling Haaland needs help and needs somebody to feed him in order to score goals. Kylian Mbappe, and he showed that the last game, can create chances for himself and therefore score goals and be very effective. And responded to criticism very well after not scoring for four games. But Jude Bellingham has the position of a midfielder, therefore can be useful in many ways: defensively, offensively, in organizing the game, counter-pressing the game, leading his teammates, and he does that in every way so beautifully that I have to choose Jude Bellingham. The problem with Kylian Mbappe, I would have chosen him if he would have made some efforts when he loses the ball to get the ball back. But he doesn't. He gives up, he doesn't respect, in a way, his teammates, and that I don't like. It's why I go for Jude.
Craig?
Well, it's between Bellingham and Erling Haaland for me, because Kylian Mbappe, as good a player as he is and has become at times a gigantic pain in the butt, right? And I know a gigantic pain in the butt when I see one, usually when I look in the mirror in the morning. So I just like Bellingham. Again, I agree with Frank. It's Bellingham at the moment for me because he's got so many facets to his game. He's got so many different facets to his game. He's got the goals, got the work rate, got the energy, got the passing, got the defending, and at the moment, he's a hard guy to not want in your team.
I think we touched on this last week when I was here, and I said, right now, I don't think there's any question Jude Bellingham is the best player in the world, right now. But if I'm starting from scratch and building a team, and I've got two picks, I'm going Mbappe and Haaland. If I've got one, I'm still leaning Kylian Mbappe. And
he's a pain, though.
Don't worry.
He doesn't work back.
I'll have a quiet word with him. I'll have a quiet word with him. And also once I sort that out, I think Kylian Mbappe will again prove why he should be everybody's first choice. I just feel that Kylian Mbappe, at his best, there's nobody more unplayable in world football.
Kylian Mbappe from quite a few of the panel, actually. Nobody said Haaland just yet, so I'm going to wait to ask Jan to see who he's going to say. Luis Garcia, who are you picking?
I'm surprised because the question is, which one would you pick right now? But right now, for the team that I'm building, if I have to be honest, and I can pick a player for a team that I'm building, and I'm going to build it with players who can provide assists on the wide areas, I'm going for Haaland because I know he's going to score 50 goals a season. If I'm building a team where I don't have wingers and I don't have players who can provide, probably I will get Mbappe, who can create me chances. But at the end, it's depending on what kind of team I'm building up. If I'm building a team kind of similar to Barcelona, to Real Madrid, or to Manchester City or Liverpool that can have enough players around me that can provide assists, can provide balls to the striker, I'm going for Haaland, a player who can score over 35 goals every single season. Even right now that he's struggling and he's not scoring as often, still has scored 11 goals. And I'm totally sure that at the end of the season, he's going to score more goals. So it depends what kind of team you're building. But definitely, right now, if I got a team and I got players who surround, I always will pick a player who can score 50 goals a season.
Before we go to Jan, because we know what his answer is going to be. No, we don't. No, listen, we are building a team, right? Right. No. One thing I'm going to say is, for all his talent, there's only one of those three is not, in my opinion, a very good team player. And it's not difficult to work out who it is. One guy who...
I'll fix that.
Yeah, but you have an issue, Craig.
Craig.
I have an issue with...
I have an issue, Frank, with with players that even when they're on international duty at a World Cup won't track back. I have an issue with that.
Frank?
I do too. I'm completely with you. And before letting the other talking, you cannot put that. I understand that, and I mentioned that he doesn't make any effort. But what he brings, in contrary, comparing to the others, on his own, is absolutely, as Shaka said, unplayable. You have to consider that when what he showed 2 days ago with France is what you have with Mbappe. Yeah, he doesn't defend, but he scored 2 goals and you win the game. So you have to consider that on top of his mentality that you dislike. And that's something quite unfair for me, I would say.
Well, how come, one second. How come you never picked him as number 1 then?
How come I didn't pick him?
Yeah.
You say that?
Yeah.
Because I think that Jude Bellingham is more. Because I think Jude Bellingham is more useful than him.
Exactly.
Not because of his mentality. And but because Jude Bellingham, for me, being in the middle of the park is more useful than somebody who can score goals because he can do both works.
There you go.
All right, let's get Jan.
Answer these on.
Let's get Jan's take then. Let's see if Jan can
We've got a drum roll. We've got a drum roll.
I am so patient waiting here. I think that Luis made some good arguments in terms of what are you looking for? Are you looking for the players in the best form right now? You would take Jude Bellingham straight away. Yes, Mbappe had a great national game, but for me, it's no doubt. Pep Guardiola tried since his Barcelona time to win the Champions League. Nobody has won the treble in England in England since Manchester United did it. They take Erling Haaland. Haaland comes in, produce goals. He ties up people, 2 or 3 people on him, 1 against 1 on the wings because of his his presence. I would choose Erling Haaland 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 50 states of America.
Okay, thanks so much,
And
Jan.
not because he's Norwegian.
Yeah.
And thanks, Luis, as well.
Don't tell them, Frank.
Taking
Don't
pity
tell
on the
them.
Norwegians today. But yeah, thanks so much, Luis Garcia, for being with us. And we'll be hearing more from Jan a little bit later in extra time.
Loser.
There'll be some questions for him. We'll be hearing a lot more from Luis Garcia as La Liga returns to on Friday. Osasuna against Granada gets things underway.